My opponent has got his artillery firing on me. Very nice. And I'm bringing back as many vehicles as I can. And destroying all trucks.
Control initialized.
Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder. It's Dvoid here. I've got a 1v1 multiplayer game on Agita version 2 map. I'm using Russia for this game and my opponent is as well. And a feature of this map is the central oil derricks here. The entrance to them, to capture them, is here. So you have to defend the entrance, but you can also snipe at the engineer from the sides. Even with riflemen, you can actually shoot the engineer. So you have to protect your engineer and the entrance, and also try and attack the enemies. So trying to cover it all can obviously be too much. So you have to watch it and be ready to group all your infantry together and defend if you have to. It's a tricky contestable centre on this map. And my first 4 rifles have found the enemy. Yeah, my opponent sent a stream of riflemen straight towards the centre. And I've got 2 rifles here, they've snuck past. Now here we go, is the engagement. I'm not going any further than that. And it looks like I'm gaining the advantage. That's it. Now when this happens, you need to stop your riflemen as quickly as you can. And then start to group them together, but don't advance any further if that happens. Yeah. If you can gain the advantage against your opponent like that, then moving on and attacking before he can group too many rifles together, or before he can group enough rifles together to stop you, you can move forward and attack. Looks like I'm actually guarding this oil derrick. I wouldn't want to attack, not with the 7 rifles. So I'm making sure an engineer hasn't been sent over to capture the hospital. Because if he had an engineer, he knows he can't go here at the moment. So I'm just making sure he's not making use of his time by capturing the hospital. Now I've got my oil derrick and I'm capturing the hospital, but my engineer by shift command has been ordered here. So I'm considering capturing this. These guys should be falling back now, not advancing. I was trying to secure the entrance for the engineer, but yeah. Yeah, that wasn't bad, that. My opponent had superior numbers. He's cleared me away from his oil derrick for the moment. But it looks like I'm massing to move on it again. I've got my engineer here. There's my war factory, and for this map, I use the war factory and place it here for build reach. So my 3rd refinery can go right next to the ore field, and my newly trained ore trucks can come out of the war factory and mine this. Yeah, my opponent's going for his oil derrick. I've got my APC now. Both quite hard up for cash. And my opponent's got 3 ore trucks, I've just got 3. And here you go, I'm engaging, and there's the engineer. The APC's got a better view range than rifles, so he can just snipe the engineer. And I decided not to destroy it. I've sent the APC to pick up the engineer. Looks like I want to capture it. Now I've got 4 ore trucks and my opponent's just got 4, so I overtook him. All of a sudden. There you go, look, I'm moving to capture that. Now my engineer can't get past it there, so I had to move out of the way. But my opponent will be able to see this. He's got a view range from his oil derrick because it belongs to him, so he can see my engineer. He's got a vehicle nearly built. Yeah, I've captured it. Yeah, he's got an APC now. Yeah, I've sent this one rifle just in case my opponent makes the mistake of just sending an engineer, because he may, you know, say secure this area and not check, because he hasn't got the view range anymore, he can't see that. So just in case he gets lazy, I'll leave a rifleman to guard it. But he is not being lazy, he's actually sending an APC with his engineer. There you go. But I can see this, because it belongs to me, this oil derrick, so I know I've got enough time. And my APC's got my engineer in it as well. And I'd taken the engineer out, but I realised I can block the way out for this APC so it can't escape. My engineer got out, quickly get back in, must have been a fumble. But I know that APC's trapped, so I'll just bring in the rocket troops and put it out of its misery. And there's no way near enough to save it. My opponent's actually moving forward with an aggressive expansion. Very aggressive. I've got rifle guards here. But you should be going for this one first. This one. Yeah, the flak truck's picking off a few of my troops. No, he's getting a rocket soldier now. I'm not happy about that. See, it'll do very little to the heavy armour. But against light armour, the flak trucks are excellent. Aircraft or MCVs or Rangers or other flak trucks, anything like that, the flak trucks can shred them. My opponent's got some heavy tanks, as do I, and I'm moving forward myself. But my opponent's actually got a forward radar dome, and it gives you a nice amount of view range. Look, it's a risk placing a forward radar dome or war factory, but they do have the benefits. A war factory will allow you to produce tanks at the front line, and the radar dome will give you this excellent field of view. Yeah, I'm placing refineries as I go. And I've got my engineer in there. I should drop him off before any combat starts. But my opponent's moving forward and is actually bringing an MCV, but he's got no vehicles with this force. And he's only got 4 rocket soldiers over here. I think I've lost my rifle scouts, you see. I had 2 there, and that's why I'm sending units, look, to make sure I'm prepared. And I'm sending a rifleman out to scout, see what's going on. And it's told me that I was right to be ready. Yeah, he's got 5 rocket soldiers by the looks of it. He is training some more troops, but it's an alright for an eco raid, but without vehicles it's not going to achieve much. And some of those rocket soldiers are actually going for my heavy tank, and they're gone. He'll be lucky to get that ore truck. Very lucky. Yeah, he won't. That was a shame. He didn't even get that, but I've attacked here, overwhelmed him, and a Tesla coil stopped me capturing the MCV, so I had to destroy it. Looks like my opponent sent 5 infantry to attack the oil derrick, and he's built an aggressive refinery, offensive refinery and ore truck. But it looks like I've gained control, the upper hand over here in his base. It's not a very large force now, but this is where the action is now. That's idle over there. But taking out those power plants around them is important. And these are actually guarding the oil refinery. I won't want to destroy that. I'll want to capture it and, like, infiltrate. Not capture, just hold it and infiltrate. There you go, the service depot's gone. And I'm attacking this expansion here. Yeah, I shot his plane down. One of his planes did actually land on a barracks, I remember that, and destroyed it. He's called it, my opponent. There you go, there's that one. Yeah, he needed vehicles for this attack over here. And, you know, just more power, more units. But I'll go through the graphs and charts, but I'm going to add a second replay. Yeah, my opponent was behind me in the army value, and with that, you know, engagement in the centre, we both committed a lot of early resources, so, you know, gaining control of the oil derricks meant at least it was worth it for me. There's the earnings graph, fairly even. And my finishing army is, it's a decent little force. You know, some tanks and troops. I've got a 21,000 army value, and my opponent lost 11 structures. My opponent killed 79 units, I killed 116. My opponent destroyed 14,000 credits worth of my assets, and I destroyed 38,000 credits worth of theirs. There are no support powers in effect, because I haven't got an airfield yet. But my opponent did. He had an airfield and aircraft, so he would have had paratroops and spy planes at one point. But I am building a power plan, and if I've got my second war factory and 7 barracks, it means that after the power plant, I'll be building a radar dome. I've got 7 ore trucks and both the oil derricks. Got my hospital still. My opponent earned 47,000. I earned 63,000. We've got a bit of cash left each. I've got over 6 grand. My opponent was at 14 actions per minute. I was at 27, and I am actually in low power, but because I'm building a power plant, I would actually sell one of these refineries and sell a flame tower, and that would put me back into normal power mode, so I could build the power plant at its proper speed, place it, and then go on to the radar dome. So I wouldn't be in low power. As soon as I realised and got a free moment, I would, like I say, sell a refinery and sell one of the flame towers, and that'd sort the situation out. So there's the first game, basics, etc. But I'm going to add a second replay to this post, just to make it a bit more substantial. So hang on for a moment, and I'll post an allied game. Let's see. This one I'm using, it's on 1v1 multiplayer game on Woodlands map, and I'm using France for this game. My opponent's using Germany. So there's 4 oil derricks on this Woodlands map, and it's gives you points for intercepting your enemy's engineer, because you can intercept him between these 2 oil derricks, you know, or shoot barrels while he's capturing the first one. As you know, it's not easy to protect them if you've got a determined opponent who wants to take out your engineer. They can make it difficult to keep them alive. Some players more than others. Some players will keep fighting for the oil derrick until, you know, they're either destroyed or theirs. But my opponent sent rifles in a stream straight towards me, my side of the map. I've taken one out, lost one, I've lost a couple of rifles, but at least I know, so my engineer, need to keep him safe, nearly. They would have caught him if I hadn't have slowed them down with those rifles. I reckon they'd have caught that engineer. Not bad. And I've actually sent these rifles past them to hunt for the engineer still. Because you need to, you know, do as many of those things as you can. Defend, make it worth it, so you're earning credits, and also attack. You need to fight your opponent when he attacks you and defend as well as you can, but you also need to take off the pressure by attacking and draw their attention away. So you need to fulfill defense, attack, and making sure that your defense and attack, it's all worth it, so that what you're defending has value, and what you're attacking is worth what you're going to lose in assets to destroy. It's got to be worth it, and it's got to have value, attack or defense. But my opponent, without vehicles, you see, you can't see anything. And I know they're there, but I've got all this view range, so I'm not going to go and attack. I'm going to just stay within the view range of my structures. And my opponent is going to want to going to have to come to me. He's only got a medic and rifles, but luckily for him, he has actually caught rocket soldiers out. He's caught 2 of them out, so that 600 kind of made it worth it. and I can shoot at him from outside his view range. You see, this guy hasn't fired back at him because he can't see him. He's got to get closer. And an attack move will only hit the Autrox anyway. So it's just so much easier for the defender. You need a vehicle to even out the view range advantage. There, I've built my light tank and I've actually moved forward and captured my opponent's first oil derrick. He hasn't captured this one either. My opponent's got a ranger, and he's actually trained another medic. They're good at any point in the game, medics. You know, in the early game, it gives you a nice advantage. The dogs are needed to even it out as well, to be fair. But you can use a medics any point in the game. If you have quite a few of them, I've seen them heal infantry really quickly and heal groups of them really well in heavy engagements. But I'm secured this oil derrick, captured that, no problem. So I'm moving my engineer over here. Oh, my opponent's got an engineer there now. I may have taken one out earlier, I'm not sure. And he's putting it in the ranger. Got my rifle guard set up, look. So it was lucky I sent scouts. And before I'm moving with the engineer, I would need to have sent these guys. Yeah, he's cleared those two away. So my engineer's going to make a run for it. So yeah, I'm sending these, probably thinking about defending my engineer. These guys as well. Yeah, protecting the engineer, because a ranger can soon find stray engineers wandering around trying to escape. It'd be so easy for that ranger to find him. So you want some units between your engineer and them. Yeah, there's my opponent's got his engineer on his oil derrick there. This would be his second if he can take it, but it doesn't look like he's going to. And the light tank's gone very effective against light armour. The engineer was splattered. But yeah, flak trucks and light tanks, they are extremely effective against armour, light MCV armour. That's very, very vulnerable to light tanks and flak trucks. Aircraft, obviously, flak trucks wipe them out, but light tanks are good too. Rangers, you know, they can't last long against light tanks. Some weapons are very effective against the lighter armour. I'm escorting my MCV, look. Got a small group of units, a couple of tanks. There's another group reinforcements following behind. I'm distributing some units, look, keep my home base safe, because it's important to, you know, it wouldn't take many units and a player could knock out, oh, these are fakes. I've got loads, yeah, so if my opponent is to attack, look, say from here, or here, or here, or here, the first buildings he's going to see are power plants, but they're all fake. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them are fake, and any access to my base, the first things he's going to see are fakes. But you won't know that because until you do a quarter damage, they act as normal buildings. There you go, I've caught an MCV, pure luck. That's bad luck for my opponent. And when I saw that wreck, I was thinking immediately of a mechanic. But my units are on hold, I haven't got enough. And there's a spy in training, and I'm actually I need an advanced power plant. There's one there, but I want a barracks and a mechanic as soon as I can get them. So there's a barracks, look, so I can place it here. But a mechanic, if I train one, it's going to come from there, which is too far away. You know, your wrecks don't last that long. So there you go, I'm building a mechanic and a barracks. So the barracks should go there. But the mechanic isn't ready yet, and it's gone. It's too late. So the mechanics come out, and the barracks became not as important. But at least I had it. That was the first thing I thought of when I saw that MCV wreck. And look, my small group, I've captured the oil derrick, But he's actually sent a couple of tanks for spotting and an artillery. That is really effective because he's only using a couple of units, he's not risking a lot, and he's actually driving an eco raid away. And they're running for their lives, that artillery. They're lethal against infantry, so I'm on the move now. But I've got spies, and these rangers, I was thinking of putting spies in and dropping them off so that they could quickly infiltrate. But these spies are actually having to move past these defences while I've got my hands full, look. And there was a mechanic in that ranger instead, so I blew it. And all the spies are dead. The rangers have been ignored, but I did win this engagement and kept my artillery piece alive. And I've got mechanics, so I'm going for the destroyed vehicles, look, repairing the wreck. There you go, I brought that wreck back to life. They come back with very little health, but other mechanics can repair them for free, and I'm actually moving there, look, for another wreck, but these guys need to keep away. No, they did it. Brave. It's the only tank I've got. And those mechanics are tough. He's still alive. I saw him taking fire. That was impressive. But there's 4 wrecks there, so a mechanic, even though he's nearly dead, can take that. But I've got a barracks, so anytime this happens, you can quickly train a mechanic. And my opponent has got his artillery firing on me. Very nice. And I'm bringing back as many vehicles as I can. And destroying all trucks, but my opponent has got a lovely firing angle with his units. 20,000 to me, 12,000 to my opponent. And look at that, it's very heavy damage. And I've got Tanya, but she's got to keep away from that. I've lost my artillery, and here's another spy. Yeah, there's an infiltration, yes. And I knew these units were going to get slaughtered, so I had to do something, and that's why I got the power plant with them. I knew they were doomed, and the helicopters are perfect for shooting enemy APC artillery. And it was supposed to spot for Tanya, and the camo pillbox surprised me, even though I had seen it, had heard it. It caught me out. So that helicopter's empty. And my opponent's got rocket troops shooting at my helicopters, and these guys, obviously, that's what I'm commanding. So he escaped at least, he's a veteran. Lost it. And I've kept my mechanics out of battle, and looks like I'm... there you go, I've called these in by accident. All units have been called in, and they just ran into enemy forces there, sadly. And these helicopters chewed them, and I lost the light tank. Now, I've trained another Tanya. There she is. Now, this is taking out 3 mechanics. That's 1,500 in a quick burst. And this army, look, is wiped. But the tanks, I'm going to make sure the service depot is destroyed, and that the tanks are going to cause trouble. And move on, because medium tanks, one of their best assets is the mobility, and they can move more quickly than heavy tanks and infantry, and they can go on eco raids and tours around the map and move more quickly than most units. So they can move, destroy power plants. They're not that powerful, their guns, but you know, 4 or 5, it'll destroy an ore truck before too long. And there's Tanya with a group of infantry, tanks and a helicopter. And I've still got those 2 tanks left, look. Yeah, and Tanya's gunning down the infantry, but my infantry have all got slaughtered by the helicopters. And my opponent's got an artillery piece. My tanks are dealing with it. There's my veteran helicopter. And I've overrun my opponent's forces there. And that's his home base, although I'm okay for cash as well at the moment. I've got some infiltrations. I've got 8 ore trucks. My opponent's still got 4. He can actually, transfer to here. He's got, that's where he is actually focusing his defence as well, by the looks of it. He's got his helipad, 3 choppers and some troops. I've sent tanks in, and yeah, I've taken the conyard out, but my opponent's got another conyard here. More spies going in, look, for the infiltrations. There's some more. So I've got 8 grand now. My opponent's down to 1.5, although he's just gained that because he's dropped off there. I'm clearing his base away, although he is selling some assets. He wants an ore truck, look. And there's Tanya. She's been ordered to wreck those structures. Helicopters, look. Finishing my tanks and a few rocket troops. That's an efficient way of destroying my tank attack. And there you go, Tanya's destroying structures with her C4. All she has to do is touch the structure. When it flashes, it's destroyed, and she can gun down infantry. See how quick she is. Instant gun down. And the helicopters will spot for her or help me avoid trouble. So if I see enemy vehicles or APC or helicopters, she can run away before they know where she is. There's more spies. I've got a capture underway, and my opponent's actually got some cash, so it's worth doing that because he's harvesting here, look. So he's got cash to take. And there's some important infantry there. So these 2 riflemen have scared them all off, but it's unlucky for him. I've got enough to take them out. And here's another defence. Crashing helicopters. Yeah, it's never a tactic I've favoured, to be fair. Obviously he didn't have a choice there. And Tanya's made it through. And now she's got shift command to wipe out a few more structures. And my opponent's called it. There's another victim. I've got some spies there, look. And there you go, we called it. So there's some use of some allied tech for you on Woodlands map. And I really do like my mechanics, really do, because they repair your tanks and actually fix up destroyed husks and wrecks. And that wasn't a feature in the original Red Alert. Vehicles didn't leave husks like that. So it's a very nice feature. One of the things that I really liked about Openra Red Alert are these little differences and the user interface, how much better it is, and all the commands. Everything we've learnt about strategy games has been applied to make Openra Red Alert just something really good. Well, I'll go through the graphs and charts for you anyway. Look, there's that army graph. A bit more of a struggle than the other game. There's the earnings. Yeah, my opponent had to do some decent earnings there. Not too bad. Army. Yeah, I've got some helicopters there, tanks, and I've got a Tanya. Mechanics, spies, engineers, some rocket troops and rifles. Now let's have a look at combat chart. I've got a 30,000 army value. I killed 30 structure. Let's see, what my opponent's lost 18 structures, so that's the official amount. That 30 that I killed in structures could easily be fences or something pointless. But if my opponent lost 18 structures, that's what I got. But I didn't lose any myself, thankfully. And I killed 220 units. My opponent killed 177. And I destroyed 69,000 credits worth of my opponent's assets. My opponent destroyed 49,000 credits worth of my assets. Support powers, I do actually have a tech centre because you need a tech centre to train Tanya and the other high-tech assets, such as, if I'm France, then the phase transport is a high-tech asset I have access to. So you can use a phase transport, which is an invisible APC, to actually drive Tanya to her targets, and it helps her destroy targets and get away alive. So it does really help save value and saves you repeatedly training Tanya, because I'm obviously no expert with her. But my support powers from the tech centre here, that's the Allied Tech Centre, is a GPS satellite, and when you activate it, you get a certain amount of time where you can see what's under the shroud of your enemy's assets. You see symbols for what they are, so infantry are dots, vehicles, you can see a symbol for them, and structures, so you know where the enemy is, whether you can see them or not with your units. So I would have symbols of, say it was an expansion here, you'd see symbols of structures and a few units dotted about, whatever was protecting them. So it's an extremely effective ability, the GPS satellite, and it works for a certain amount of time and then stops and then recharges. So my production, I am actually working on a refinery, pillboxes, the basics, so I'm still building helicopters. Can't have too many helicopters, really. And I've got 8 ore trucks and I've got 4 oil derricks, so I actually got all of them and held on to them in the end. Didn't even get any destroyed. But I earned 120,000, my opponent earned 84,000, so not too bad for cash. I got 10 grand, and the captures helped that, obviously. And my opponent's got 1,300, so he managed that, even though I was just totally, like, smashing his bank account. He still managed to get some cash and put up a decent last stand as well. So good, well played to him, fair play to him, because it was a hostile environment he was operating in. So there's the economy tab. Basics, I was at 35 actions per minute. My opponent was at a relaxed 15 actions per minute. And there you go, score 1,005 to 469. So it was a decent game, that one, not bad at all. But I thought I'd add a second replay to the post, like I say, just to make it more substantial. But I hope you like what you saw. Some allied tech use for a change, not like me. And if you did like what you saw, then give us a sub and a like. Take good care of yourselves, and until next time, goodbye.
Battle control terminated.